Okay, so I've been kind of all over the place on this channel. This is more of my experiment. If you guys aren't aware of my other channel, it's called The Viking Samurai, where I cover a lot of martial arts and action, movie related content. So this channel is kind of an experiment, and I wanted to figure out what exactly to do. I did all kinds of different things on this channel. It was kind of random, which is why I initially called it off topic. But now I got some focus of I'm gonna do and talk about like what I'm really passionate about, what I'm studying all the time, what I am trying to do, what I am becoming myself, and I think it'll be very helpful for a lot of you. So it's going to be more of a channel on basically upgrading your life, improving yourself. It's self improvement, whether that's health and fitness. I'm also a martial artist, so I'm always working on improving myself. Whether that's finances, relationships, etc. I'm going to tie in philosophy and other things because as I study all this stuff and have my own experiences, I want to share that, and I think it could be helpful for some people. But with that said, I'm a student of life, meaning I'm always open to learn. So everything that I learn on here, I will pass on, and hopefully that'll help you. But be active in the comments section though, because like I said, I'm a student of life. I am figuring things out myself. If you follow my Instagram at all, or seen some other channel, I've briefly mentioned a few different things. Like I went through a divorce last year. I was pursuing a lot of stuff last year. A lot of that stuff didn't work out, including a very what would have been a promising business opportunity. Also, I was going to have a fight against Sugar Shane Mosley in boxing, which would have been huge. But then I had an injury where I dislocated my shoulder, and prior to that, I had torn my bicep and recovered from that. Recovering from this now, and also got my back all fixed up from going to the chiropractor. There's a big reason why I started going, actually. A very specific reason, not only because I was working around injuries for a while, working around it the best I can. But see, now the back is really good. I just go to my weekly adjustments now. It's all fixed up. Seen the before and after X-rays, feel great. So, part of this channel is going to be vlogging with my own experience because I'm pursuing things in the acting world. In fact, you can watch the last Kumite right there. That was a fun project that I worked on. Shot that in Germany. That's the only film that's actually out right now that I've been in, even though I've shot 6 projects now. But that's the only one that's out as of now, which is January 20th of 2025. So I got big plans though for more projects this year. So I'll share some of that because this is something that I've always wanted to do as far as pursuing and getting into acting, which I finally did in 2023, and it's been working out. But obviously, like everything, you want to get the bigger projects with the bigger budgets and everything else. So that's what I'm focusing on a lot this year, and got a couple of things in the pipeline. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'll share that with you guys, but just in general, that's where this channel is going to be. Like, I'm going to talk about and work on improving my life, getting everything back on track, becoming the person and having the life that I want. And who wouldn't want that? So I think this will be of value to you guys. So as far as like financial related stuff, I was working full time as a stockbroker for years, had my Series 7, 9, and 10 licenses, and I still swing trade on the side. Now, there's a lot of opportunity for people to pick up some extra money trading. So I looked into prop trading firms, which a lot of them are garbage, but there are a lot of benefits to get people started. And I think this could benefit a lot of you guys if it's something you want to look into. However, you got to be very careful because there's so many scammy ones. And I was actually involved in a scammy one last year, unfortunately. There's a reason why I went with them. They were called Surge Trader, based out of Florida, but they no longer exist. The way these prop trading firms work, by the way, you pay for these evaluation testing periods, and then once you make a certain amount of money in those simulated accounts, before you lose a certain amount of money, then you move on to the next level. Sometimes there's a couple different stages, but eventually you get a funded account. And at the time that I signed up, you were able to use real funds, but then, with I don't know how much regulations in this industry, but a lot of these firms have shut down. There's still Forex trading firms, and there's still ones that do futures, but very, very, very few do stocks. And a lot of them were offshore doing CFDs. So anyway, long story short, I went with Surge Trader, even though, it seemed a little fishy. I felt like it was a worthwhile investment for the evaluations because at least I could trade what I wanted to trade, which I prefer trading stocks over indexes and futures and everything else. So I did sign up for them. I was doing very great. I was about to get funded officially, but then, their operation basically went on pause. They were looking for like, some other partners to work with. Then they unpaused it and then they took the stock trading away. But I was like, okay, I could still trade futures on like natural gas, oil. You could do crypto like futures on them, like Bitcoin and stuff like that. Plus, I do follow the indexes all the time, like the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, etc. So I figured, okay, I could still trade with them. That's fine. But then they paused again, and then just like their operation collapsed. So anyway, the reason I bring this up is that I've researched so many of them exhaustingly. And again, I bring up my background as being an ex-stockbroker with all these licenses, plus I have a lot of years of trading experience on top of that, even before I became a broker. I've had a lot of big wins and a lot of big losses. Like any trader, I've blown up accounts. I've traded everything from Forex, the crypto, to futures, the options on futures, the stocks, all that stuff. So I found what I think is actually, from everything I can tell, a legitimate prop firm that I am going to sign up for, and I will chronicle it here. And it's something that I can recommend now. It's not something I can highly recommend until I actually get some experience. I'm going to pass that evaluation. I'm going to get the funded account, which, by the way, a lot of these prop firms, even when you're, quote, funded, they still do it in a simulated environment. So the way their business model works is that they want more people to sign up because most people that trade, 95%, maybe 98% of people lose money. So they want people to pay for these evaluation accounts. That's how these prop firms make money. And then every time, in that rare instance where someone passes the evaluation and then they trade in the funded simulated account and they take their payout, they're really getting paid from other people who aren't good, losing money. So it's not a good business model, man. But the prop firm that I found, you actually will trade with real money with that firm. So it's in that firm's best interest to help develop traders to make money. And you're even set up with a risk manager that you have supposedly real one-on-one video calls with, because it's in their best interest. They're doing the business model correctly, where the other ones, you hear nightmare stories about people not getting payouts because maybe a lot of their rules are very hard to pass, or if you breach one of them, it's like, well, you don't qualify for the payout because they don't want to pay you, especially in these simulated accounts. It's very odd, man. But I will talk a lot more about the prop trading firm after doing so much research that I am confident of, like, this one's going to be legit and I'm not going to waste my time or money. So now the benefit of the prop firm, if you find a legitimate one, of which there are very, very, very few from what I've been looking into, is that you will learn proper risk management. So you might have already traded before and probably blown up accounts, I'm sure, and maybe quit as a result. Or if you haven't gotten to the realm of trading, if you haven't gotten into this, you will lose a lot of money, man, initially, but it's all part of the so-called tuition that traders go through. The benefit of the prop trading firm, though, is because you're on these evaluations that you did pay for, you will treat it more like it's real, because it is. There is money at stake because you want to graduate to the next level and, start able to making real money from that. And the other thing is, they give you buying power of like $50,000, $100,000. Some of them, $250,000 or even more. I was actually building up to, my whole plan with Surge Trader before they blew up were to have multiple accounts, which I had, and to get the equity up to, $1 million of buying power, which that's pretty damn good, right? Because even somebody, if like you were thinking about putting $5,000 into an account, well, you don't have that much buying power, and you can't even, well, of course you can't day trade stocks. So they have the pattern day trader rule unless you got 25,000 or more in the account. But with futures, you could do something a little bit different. But long story short, most people who get into trading, they do not nor should they put in $50,000 or $100,000 to have that buying power in futures contracts. Not until much later, until you learn properly. So the benefit is, you might buy an evaluation for say $500. Some of them are cheaper if you pay month to month subscription. Some of them have time limits too, so they force you to trade. But see, the one that I found that I'm actually going to use doesn't have this time limit. So that, again, they want you to actually succeed. But the benefit is you put up, a fraction of the capital, you learn everything that you need to do, and it's always better to use somebody else's money in business. Like, businesses do that all the time. That's even why businesses issue stock, because they get money from different investors, right? On the public market. So, but yeah, treat trading like a business. And if you don't have to use your own money, or at least only a fraction of it, it's better, assuming you can actually find a good prop firm, which is not easy, by the way. So I'm gonna talk about. I'll show you everything actually that I do. It'll be a lot of fun. There's actually another experiment I want to do with options trading, because running all these different numbers and scenarios, and I'll chronicle this on the channel, by the way. I do believe I could turn $1,000 into $100,000 within about a dozen trades, and there's a very specific way I'm going to do that, which I'll cover later. I mean, that's a big goal. If I accomplish that, I do believe I will. So stay tuned on the channel, man. Anyway, that's where this channel's heading, improving and upgrading our lives, from a health and fitness perspective, which I'll talk about that, from a financial perspective, which, by the way, getting divorced, it's much more than losing a relationship. There's a lot of other struggles outside of your cost of living doubling. There's other things involved that sets you back, man. And a lot of the stuff that I was working on last year, I put a big bet on myself. You should always bet on yourself, by the way. But the stuff didn't pan out. A lot of opportunities to make money ended up falling through, unfortunately. So anyway, I'm getting everything back on track this year. And subscribe to the channel. Come along for the ride, man. We're going to all upgrade our lives together.